Welcome to my video. I'm going to walk through how I paint these types of hummingbird paintings. Uh, they usually don't take very long, and I think it turns out pretty nice, so hopefully you can follow along. I start by trying to create sort of a random background. I'm trying to mimic a photographic effect where the background is blurry and creating sort of a depth of field. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the materials that I'm using. This is Strathmore 400 series mixed media paper. It's a very thick paper. It's not a watercolor paper from what I know, but it takes acrylic paint really well. I didn't even gesso this before starting to paint, and I tape it up to the wall. I like to work on multiple pieces at the same time. This is the photo that I've been referencing for these birds, and it was taken by Thomas Magenta, so go check out his Instagram. So I'm going to keep up a photo of this so you can follow along and see what I'm referencing as I draw and paint. So I start out by sketching a very simple shape, and I usually start with the darkest colors first. I'll list out all the colors in the description, but I'm using sort of a dark turquoise here, and then a mix of that and teal with some yellow to create the green and the lighter teal color. So I just kind of move over the entire piece, building up layers one at a time. Here's some orange, that orange and magenta, but I typically either put down a dark color and then do some lighter colors on top, or do a lighter color and do some darker colors on top, if that makes sense, to create texture. There's a little bit of a closer view. And I sped this up obviously using time lapse because I didn't want to have this video be an hour long. But I do want to mention the brushes that I'm using. I use all different types of brushes. Here I'm using a fan brush to try to create sort of a feather effect. But probably the most important brush I use is this liner brush. And this one was from a model making kit to build plastic models. I think the brand is Army. I'll double check that and put a link to that in the description as well. But it's really great for creating fine lines and some nice effects. I've been having trouble with this top wing on these birds. I don't know why I struggle so much with that shape, but I'll just say that, you're never stuck. With acrylic, it dries really fast. You can always layer on top of it. I've said that in other videos. And here I'm just extending these light effects on the feathers a little bit longer to try to fill the gap that was created there from the dark space to the original light feathers. But like I said, with this liner brush, you can get thick and thin lines. You just have to practice with it a little bit, and it works really great. Here I'm using the back of a pen, the little mechanism that lets you push the pen out, the switch, whatever they're called. Using that to create a small circle for the eye. And eyes can give me trouble sometimes, but generally speaking, well, I'm just trying to create, like a black circle and then put a little white reflection on it. This looks a little bit muddy, but I ended up going back into the background and adding a little bit of shading sort of to help separate the bird from the background. I'm also showing me signing this because I always just try to pick a color that isn't too jarring. Maybe it's harmonious with the rest of the piece. I always cover works on paper with an isolation coat to seal it in, and then on top of that I'll varnish it with an acrylic satin varnish. So yeah, I will probably do more of these and slow them down a good bit and talk more step by step in the future. I wanted to get one of these out because folks had asked for me to do a little bit of a tutorial on a single hummingbird, so there it is. I think it turned out pretty good. Each of these turned out different, and I kind of think that's kind of cool actually to have a little bit of variation between each one. I'm pretty excited. I have a whole lot of fun projects coming up in the next month or so that I've been working on, things that I can't share publicly yet, but in the next few weeks I'll be able to, and I think it's gonna be fun and exciting and interesting for you guys to check out. Yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate everyone's support and all your interest in what I'm doing, and comment below, let me know what you'd like to see more of, and if you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. Could definitely use the support. Thanks again. See you next time.